Welcome to this Friday edition of The Right Side. It is so good to be here with y'all on this glorious Friday. Allison Sinclair.
Ma'am.
JP.
Sir.
Looking alive and fine in your hats.
Yeah, you didn't get the memo.
Mine's in my car and I feel left out, but that's okay. I am a grown woman and I'm going to be okay, but y'all look real cute.
Well, it's Bama Day, so I had to rip the Big Al.
The old school Big Al. Love it. So 3 questions as we get started today, and then we shall jump in because we have news. We have JP on sports. We have Clown World. Allison and JP are going to taste test a drink that, well, I want to know what y'all think because it's a prebiotic soda. I don't know. My husband left him here because they were using the studio last night for their new podcast. That's not going to be permanent. I mean, the podcast is, but they're going to, anyway, they left these for us. Now that's number 1, taste test. Number 2, is Benjamin Netanyahu alive? And then number 3, actually 4 questions. How was everyone's bracket?
I'm sorry.
And then number 4, describe last night. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Abs.
That just came out of total right field.
I thought you'd like that.
And is Netanyahu alive? And second, we're going to talk March Madness.
I thought you'd like it.
That's funny.
Keep you on your toes.
I feel very like whiplash after that.
Well, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 is the drink, 2 Netanyahu, 3 March Madness, and then 4 was just like a little, just to get it all started. How was last night? Okay. Well, it was just 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's why I'm in a hat.
Okay.
JP and I stayed out so late last night. It was like 9:23 when we left. It was exhausting.
What?
It was so late.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was having.
Yeah, you were having 1-year-old birthday cake.
It was so
you
fun.
missed it. So JP and I went to the what did we do? The Jefferson County. Oh, look at the
This
baby.
is what we were doing. We were doing
She's so cute.
She's in her sippy cup, but look at that. All right, that's
Okay.
all. You went to the Jefferson County.
Hey, be serious.
It was the Jeffco GOP.
Serious.
Hold on. I'm serious. Let's go.
Can you focus?
Barely.
Well,
Can
actually, yeah. By the way, has anybody responded to that part?
No.
Because I went back and listened, and it really did. On our state house tour, we have a joke about focusing. We got to focus. And in the state house, we missed the elevator because we were all just standing there talking. So I got in the elevator and said, y'all, we have to focus. But it sounded like I said something else. Like actually said it. And y'all were like, anyway, sorry.
That may be the part where people laugh the hardest. Anyway.
We need to focus and be serious.
All right.
Okay. So last night there was a very serious, this is how we're going to do the news today.
Okay.
There was a very serious debate,
Okay.
but actually it wasn't a debate. They pitched it as a debate, but it was a forum.
It was a forum.
There was no debating.
Oh, darling.
I felt I felt disenfranchised.
You know, it's so vast.
No. Serious.
No, English is very serious.
Oh,
darling.
okay.
And I didn't do my New York accent. I'm doing my vast, experiential British accent. And if we're going to be serious, the Brits are very serious.
You're going to be serious.
Yes. So you were disenfranchised because it wasn't a debate. It was a forum.
I thought it was, and I have learned as we have hosted several forums, I have been informed of the forums that there is a very big difference between a forum and debate. So if you advertise it as a debate, I'm expecting fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
Like fight, like that.
Like you have a 1-minute rebuttal, you know, kind of like
The Lincoln Douglas debates.
I don't know about those. Was it a duel?
They probably dueled after.
Well,
Like
I
this
was
person
expecting
said this
some
about
dueling.
you. Respond.
Yeah. Like a
And
yes.
like your mama. No,
Yeah.
your mama. Oh, wait, serious.
Serious.
And there was none of that.
Okay.
It was a very nice dinner. JP had his orange rolls from the club.
The club.
I thought all the candidates did well. What did you think, JP?
I agree. They're all very different.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Pamela Casey, had the mic in her hand, standing away from the podium, is because that's her, personality. Is where Jay and Catherine were more, at
I
the
did
podium
notice
business.
that.
Like,
Yeah, you're right.
but I think they all had good policy answers. But they're all just very different personality wise. And I mean, it didn't get fireworky, but there were jabs thrown. Like each person threw a jab at someone else in the debate, subtly.
Not really by name, but
No.
if you follow along, you know what they're talking
And the
about.
That's
person-
my favorite, when they don't use your name, but they're talking about you.
Yeah.
Could we
It's a
maybe from
tactic.
here on go pew, pew, pew? Like, could you do a sound
pew.
effect? Thank you. All right.
Yep.
That's my favorite. I love that. Carry on.
Well, and the person that was receiving the jab every time, though, you could tell because they would go, like, make a face, like, did
Like-
you really just say that?
Like a boxer. Pew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was good. It was very representative of each of their different personalities. But yeah, they all had good answers to every question, I would say.
Okay. It'd be disappointing if 3 attorneys didn't have great answers.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one where everybody can out-talk the other. So then you walk away, and I'm asking this of y'all, do you think anybody's mind was changed and maybe moved in a certain direction for one of the candidates?
Mm,
In that crowd, I mean, it was very much the Republican Party crowd. I don't think there were many
Okay.
outsiders.
undecideds.
Yeah, I think that kind of setting, it's like you're talking to your own people.
Yeah.
I don't know if it really did, but I will say, probably most people know Catherine Robertson's name. Most people know Jay Mitchell. Most people probably don't know Pamela Casey. If I had to choose a winner, which there wasn't really a winner, although I thought Jay was probably the weakest, only because his answers were good, but for me, he doesn't have, and it's just his personality. He's
Yeah.
much more stoic.
Yeah, reserved.
He needs to be in a robe. Yes, he's very, very serious. And so some people are going to love that. He didn't have the oomph that maybe Catherine and Pamela had.
Okay.
But again, that's just his personality. But I would say probably Pamela, if anybody, because you don't really know as much about her, but
Right.
she's very passionate. And you're right. She held the mic. Catherine and Jay had the mic like stationary, and they just stood very presidentially, and that's them. Pamela had the mic in her hand, and she was walking around, and she was very expressive. So if you like more of that, she's very passionate. That's who you're gonna, kind of gravitate towards. Catherine is very Catherine. She says what she thinks. She's not afraid to say it. She's very strong in her beliefs. She confronted. There was one question about taking gambling money. I guess Pamela and Catherine had both taken gambling money. Jay had not. It's from the Porch Creeks, right?
Yes,
That's who
I
it
think
was.
Pamela said Pamela's the one that brought it up. She said it's not a secret. I had $10,000 from the Porch Creek Indians, but I'm the only one on this stage that actually prosecuted people for gambling. So, but yeah, she was the one that
Interesting.
brought it up.
Well, no, one of the moderators asked the question about it, about taking gambling money, and Catherine said yes. I think they had given her $10,000 too. And she said, but I've been, even since back in my time at API, I've been very anti-gambling. And she said, the Porch Creek Indians do a lot more than just gambling. And so she said, they know where I stand on that. And so that was a really good question. But yeah, I would say Pamela probably had the most to win, just because probably people don't know her as well. And she did a really good job.
Yeah, and also to start, her mic was kind of going in and out, and she was not fazed by it at all, and just kept going and talked loud enough to where you could even hear her without the mic. So, in terms of presence on the stage, I thought Pamela killed it. And I agree. I think she's probably the one that surged the most because she, is, I wouldn't say clawing up, but her name ID is not as much as the other two.
Yeah.
But I thought she did a great job in terms of having presence on the stage, demanding attention in the right way, of almost like The other two were, formal and she almost like grabbed the mic and was talking to you like, hey, I'm actually talking to you, It was more
Yeah.
personable.
You mean I'm present?
Yeah. So I thought, yeah, she killed it in that regard, I would say.
Awesome.
But nobody was bad.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say anybody was that you were like, ooh.
That's kind of one of those events you can go to and know at least you don't have to be nervous about what's going to come out of their mouths because they're all such experienced communicators.
Do you get nervous? Like at our forums, you get nervous?
Oh, no. I get excited.
Oh, I guess I do kind of get nervous for some of the candidates. You're like,
oh,
you
at
really
our forum,
prepared
yes.
for this? Yeah.
Yes. Sorry.
Are you talking about when you're speaking?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I'm talking about like you're like,
Oh,
I don't know how
absolutely.
this is going to go.
Yeah. I do get nervous.
So it was good. I did, y'all, this is not serious at all. This is kind of a funny story, but I have to talk about it because we were in the very front. So our table.
Hold on. I
What?
need to know how the room was set up. Was it set up that it's the front, or the last couple times
Oh
the
no,
right
it was
side?
the
stage?
the stage was
Okay.
like you could see the city, like they were in front of the window in the
Got it.
middle.
Okay.
So we're facing that way and we were in the front, literally the table right next to the moderators asking the questions.
Oh dear.
And what is
Did you laugh?
No, JP and I we all had to kind of turn around because our backs were to the stage. So JP and Grayson were there and so their backs are to anyway. What y'all didn't see, and y'all know, I don't know if I've ever sneezed on the show, but you two know I love to sneeze.
Loudly.
Like it's such a great feeling to sneeze. JP, what you couldn't see is I worked for at least 36 seconds trying to not sneeze. Like I did everything. I closed my eyes because, you can't look at the light and we're in the front. So all the lights are coming down. I closed my eyes and I tried to say purple elephant or something. You're supposed to say something that makes you not think about sneezing.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is, but yeah.
So I do it all and I'm like, oh, heck no, it's coming out. It's coming out. And so I grab my napkin. I'm like, okay, the least I can do is maybe muffle it.
Yeah.
And I sneeze and JP and Grayson, whose backs were towards, didn't know it was coming.
Yeah.
They jumped out of their chairs. And I'm thinking Catherine must have been talking because then I look up and Jay and Pamela, they look like their eyes are huge. And like somebody just got shot.
Yes.
They like the whole thing in my head, the whole room stopped. And then I get a text from a friend of ours whose table we were at, and he was like, my goodness, we can't take you anywhere.
Well, I can normally see it coming with Allison when she's about to sneeze because she'll stop what she's doing and just goes. And I'm like, okay, I know it's coming. But like I was clued in on what Catherine was saying, and behind me I just hear this like into the napkin. I was like,
so like a sneeze at a funeral.
And I jumped and I just slowly turned and looked at her. It's like,
but the funniest part is this morning my dog woke me up because he was throwing up. Okay, so he came and scratched on the door and had to go out. And I was trying to get back to sleep. It's like 5 a.m. and I literally laughed out loud in the bed thinking about that moment. So that was probably the highlight of the night.
It would have been worse, or it would have been better if we weren't right in front of the stage.
Yeah. I mean, maybe in the
literally
back,
right in front.
Now some of your text thread makes sense if you were right up front. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because some of it I was like, what?
Why can't you just get up
and
go
to the bathroom? Come on, man. Like, you're a grown man.
No,
Okay.
we were literally right in
sense.
front.
Okay.
It was fun.
Okay.
WBRC is at Channel 6 that was there. They live streamed the whole thing because Jonathan Hardison,
Yes.
he was one of the
guys.
question askers,
I'm impressed.
moderators.
Got to be serious.
Yes, he was very serious. I don't think I saw him smile once.
He doesn't smile a lot.
He seemed I thought,
Which is great.
anyway, it was good.
Okay.
There we are.
Now, question number 2. Question number 2.
She's done with that.
Done. Is Benjamin Netanyahu alive?
Yes.
You think he's alive?
Well, yeah, because him and Mike Huckabee did a video together the other day,
Yeah,
2
but
days ago.
did you not see his ear hole?
It's kind of an AI weirdness, don't you think? Don't you think there's a little, like, is he injured? Did they Photoshop him in that video, or is he fine and this is much ado about nothing? Because if you're paying attention to the news, some people speculate that BB is not okay.
Allegedly.
I think he's alive and fine.
Okay.
Just me.
I think he's alive, but I think he's in hiding. And I think all of those are AI.
I can buy it. I buy that. Why wouldn't you be in hiding? They're coming after you.
Yeah. I mean, and if it's just, I guess this is life in Israel or Iran, however you want to say it. Qatar. Like him going out and getting coffee. Like, is that what you do when you're in a war? You just go get coffee?
I can ask my friends who lived in Israel.
Yeah, let's do that because
Okay.
to me that was awfully casual, but maybe they're just so used to it.
I think that's just him trying to say everything's fine. I think if he was not alive, I don't think they'd be able to hide that for like they would be.
JP, you trust our government?
Well, no, not even trust our government, but like you just couldn't, like, sources, somebody would report it.
Well, they
somebody would say
are.
something.
People are saying it.
Well, Twitter is saying it because of the weird
You don't
video.
think they tell the news stations like there is a lid on this? I don't know what you call it. You know, you may do not report on this or we will get the NSA after you. And
Yeah, but they can only hide it for so long. You know, like the cat's gonna come out of the bag eventually. The video where he has allegedly 6 fingers, I wouldn't put it past that they're doing AI videos, but I don't think that
they're
means
trying to make
dead.
him look skinnier.
Maybe.
And then he happened to end up with 3 fingers.
I don't know. But
I mean, 6 fingers.
Did you watch that Mike Huckabee video with Netanyahu? Did you watch the full thing?
No.
It was so frustrating.
I asked our friends who lived in Israel, by the way.
Like, are they just
Yeah, I
going
said,
to the
are
mall
they?
and drinking coffee?
like, are they just so used to it that it's just you just got to live? So, hey, on the ground reporting.
Mhm.
Okay, well, that's just a question I had to ask because it made one of the news sources I listened to on my way in. All right, question number 3 goes along with question number 4. Question number 3 goes along with question number 4 because while we're asking, and we're not going to take away from JP on sports because I'm pretty sure he's going to talk about this. Pretty sure, although maybe he'll talk about the Alabama player. I don't know. How are your brackets, and what do you think the Pepsi prebiotic tastes like?
Have you looked at our brackets?
I haven't this morning. Allison was winning last night.
I don't want to hear about it.
I'm telling you.
UNC killed me.
It killed me too.
Did they
Whoa.
lose?
Yeah,
Yes.
at the last second.
I had them going to the Elite Eight, I think.
Oh, that
Please
one
don't.
that I said High Point beat them.
No. VCU
VCU.
beat UNC, but I did pick High Point to win, so there was that. That was my main upset of
well,
the first
I'm
round.
definitely going down. Where do you have it pulled up on your computers?
Here, I'll pull it up on my phone.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, okay. My friend said, as far as Israel goes, yes, and it is for a bigger purpose that they are willing to deal with. Americans don't understand this. They are surrounded by every country wanting to obliterate them on a daily basis. Interesting.
So is she saying it's like a
So it's normal.
purposeful?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're going to live in spite of all the things other countries are trying to do to you. You're just going to live because they win. I've known her since we were in college, so I feel confident in the read that I'm going to give you or the take I'm giving you. They're going to live in spite of it.
Which
They're
is
not going to hide.
what you have to do.
Yeah.
On
Okay.
a lighter
Brackets.
note, I am in last in our treehouse.
Yeah, you are. If Abs chose High Point, though, she's winning.
You know what? You know it's so frustrating.
Where's our the
Who-
bracket?
who's winning?
I want to see
You
the
are.
bracket.
Me still?
Yes, Allison.
Even after
JP.
Allison, you're at 96%.
JP, where's the dang bracket?
Do you have the tournament challenge app?
No, I'm just going on this one. All
Can
right,
we
here
not
we
just
go.
get the ESPN app?
Okay.
It's
my
the
brackets.
It's a specific ESPN tournament challenge app.
My brackets. Here we go. Hey, I'm at 80. Wait a minute.
85.4.
Won that. Locked. Okay. 85.4. I won that. UCF. I picked that.
Oh, that's today.
Okay. Correct.
I should not have picked Troy.
Oh, I picked VCU.
No, you didn't.
Yes.
Come on.
Look at that.
Because
Is that not right?
I think, yeah, you did because we hate North Carolina.
I
No, I'm just
picked
kidding.
Illinois. Yeah, they're not our favorite.
No, I picked.
This is the first time I haven't stunk it up.
Did y'all
I'll
do the
stink it
other
up by the
bracket?
end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
You did?
I haven't
don't
checked
think
that
you
one.
did.
I gained 120 points.
I
I'm
don't know
channeling
what
my
that
inner
means.
Allison Sinclair.
But Allison
What are you
does.
gonna make us do?
She does her bracket in the middle of the show. It's like they're Catholic. I'll pick them. I know somebody that went to school there. I'll pick them. Oh, I like that. And she's at 96%. And I'm over here and I got 64% right
What's
now.
my percent though? I don't know where to find it.
85.4.
You're
Um,
at 60.
My basic average for all my schooling career, 85.
Hey, you are better than average.
So I got to
JP,
college
not
then.
so
I liked
much.
college a lot. Okay. Now I need y'all to taste this before we go to break. Please taste the prebiotic soda.
All right, let me tell you. This is a Pepsi product. It has 5 grams of sugar. It claims no artificial sweeteners. Water, cane sugar, soluble corn fiber, caramel color, phosphoric acid, natural flavor, which, by the way,
What is
natural
it?
flavor is really not, that doesn't mean good for you flavor. It's still unnatural. But stevia extract, that's good, and caffeine. So there's 30 milligrams of caffeine. So it's a little pick-me-up and a prebiotic, kind of like Olipop or Poppy. And so they're trying to get it on the wellness trend. I think we're trending in the right direction. Y'all ready?
Ready?
I've already opened mine.
This
so
is
unfortunately-
radio theater.
It's nice.
That sounded so
Papa
good.
Top Friday.
All right. Are
But
you
it's
ready?
prebiotic.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
Does it taste like Pepsi? Do you think? Do you think
I have a taste and I'm going to write it down. Close your eyes.
oh, you have what it tastes like?
Yeah, because I had to try it last night because for them, they're tasting all their prebiotic options. This is the first one.
All right.
I'm going to say,
Cheers.
all right, ready, go. Thoughts,
Tastes like Diet Coke.
Allison?
Hold on.
I love y'all so much.
I'm going to spit it out.
It tastes like ultra diet.
It tastes like flat Diet Pepsi.
What'd you put?
Flat Pepsi.
Oh yeah, it is pretty flat.
Yeah, it doesn't have. That's funny. It's like you go and you open the bottle and you're so excited about getting your bubbles in your throat and there's no bubbles, but you're like, dang it,
Yeah,
I got to drink it.
well, it's like the picnic Pepsi.
Yeah.
The potluck Pepsi that's been out a little too long. It's not terrible, but you have to kind of close your eyes and do a brain shift that it's flat Pepsi. And then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's good.
By the way, what is
I'll drink it.
prebiotic? So what's the prebiotic? What is that?
They were doing it for their
It's
show.
supposed to be good for your gut. You know,
Oh.
everything. Apparently, every single disease we have goes back to your gut bacteria.
Huh.
Now, there's a probiotic and there's a
Yeah.
postbiotic and there's a prebiotic, and I don't know the difference. Just drink it, JP. Just
Okay.
drink it. We'll be back on the right side.
Welcome back to The Right Side. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair. We are thrilled to be joined by Danny Garrett, and he is the guru of education. Okay. You are House District.
44.
Okay. I should know that because I am 43. I was 43. I'm in Arnold's district. And then you are Ways and Means, and then the guru over education.
Over the education budget.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean,
the budget.
he who controls the
numbers.
purse strings.
That's what
I'm
they
just-
say.
I'm just
That's
saying.
what they say, but you know,
Is that accurate?
I don't know that it's totally accurate, but I do have influence. Put it
Okay.
that
See,
way.
influence. This is what I'm after. So we saw an article published by AL.com where a superintendent in North Alabama claimed that school choice was costing his system hundreds of millions of dollars. He also said point blank that down in Montgomery, the legislature is considering about 40 different education-related bills they need to stop. What do you have to say about that?
I have several things to say. Number one, I think somebody needs some remedial math. Obviously, use Common Core, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think that number one, we talk about school choice a lot, but if you want to put it in perspective, if I gave you $50,000 and said, give me $600 back, that's the magnitude of the $100 million we're putting towards school choice in terms of what education community receives. So it's not the big focus. It should not be the focus. What they need to be focused on is fixing themselves. And there's a lot of things the public education system can do that they need to do that needs to come from within. We have 139 school districts and 67 counties. If we were to combine districts, we would be able to see some stretching of the dollars, some better usage of that dollars, less into overhead, more into the classrooms. My question would be, why did it take legislation to say you can't have cell phones in the classroom? Why did it take legislation to say you can't pass third grade if you can't read? Why did it take legislation to say if you can't be math proficient, that we're going to penalize that school, or we're going to maybe take off that school and convert that school? Why did it take legislation to say if a child is perennially, consistently misbehaving in classroom, that the teacher can put them out? My point is, there's a lot of things the public education system can do. We're going to continue to support public education. We're putting more dollars every year into it. We've added the RAISE Act, which gives money on top of the foundation program based on student needs. But that's just a smokescreen. It's nonsensical. Everybody in life today wants customization, flexibility, and choice in every aspect of our life. And yet we have this education box. We say, come into our box. You must start school this day. You can't get out before this day. You can only miss certain days in between. Here's how you have to do things. That's not the world we're in today. So opening that school choice door opens the door to customization, flexibility, and choice, which needs to happen in public education. And I will say some superintendents are doing that now. They're adapting, and we're seeing some positive results. But those numbers, number one, don't make sense. It's not accurate. And then in terms of magnitude, you're wasting time and energy that could be better focused on what you can control.
Talk us through the educational trust fund budget for this year. What changed? What did you add? I mean, we are spending more money than ever on education. Are we getting a good return on our investment there?
Well, I would say that if you go back to 2014, when I came in, we were number 49th in reading. In math, we were number 52 in reading. And today, in the most recent rankings nationwide, we are number 34 and number 32. So there's been progress. Mm-hmm. We were the only state that showed progress post-COVID, improvement post-COVID. Maybe Louisiana did on one of the scores. But so yes, we're doing some things that are positive that have moved the needle. We are spending record number. This is $10.5 billion. Every dime of it, income tax and most of the sales tax is earmarked the education budget. So that's where the money goes. But the legislature several years ago, Chairman Orr and I were able to get the legislature to adopt a provision that would limit our budget growth. It used to be that you would just project your revenue and you would budget off of that. Then if you got to halfway into the year and realized you were off, you had to start proration. Well, back in 2010, the Republicans took over. They set up the Rolling Reserve Act, which basically set up funds, kind of a forced 401k savings plan so you can avoid proration. That fund today has about $1 billion in it, but we can't touch that unless it's proration. But what we decided to do several years ago was, look, let's limit our budget growth. Rather than grow, say we project revenue growth 6.5%, let's grow it less than that. So this year we grew it at 5.75%, which is the maximum now going forward we can grow that. And the money that we get in excess of that goes into waterfall. Some of that goes into the Rolling Reserve Act. Some goes into investment technology. Some goes into this new education reserve account, which the legislature controls. That's how we're funding school choice. That's how we're funding the RAISE Act. This year we added outcome-based funding for higher education, trying to drive outcomes in the education community for higher ed. And so that's one thing we added. We did add a micro school grant program this year for $500,000. I'm not well versed in what micro schools do, but they're popping up all over the country, and we're seeing them in Alabama. We'll have a grant program for that. But we We fully funded numeracy, fully funded literacy. We gave a teacher raise. We had to navigate a huge request from the employee health insurance. They wanted almost $400 million. We gave them $180 million toward that. They're going to have to fix their problem, which is a problem that's not sustainable, by tapping into their trust or modifying their plans or their costs. So we did those types.
Welcome back. This is The Right Side. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP, having a Friday. I don't even know if we'll get it all in, because even though it is Friday and even though it is glorious outside, there is a ton of news. And we're going to get to the news. We're going to get to JP on sports. We're going to do Clown World and talk about all the things in between, because two really big things in Alabama, once we get through the montage, this is after. There are some big things. Closed primary is one, but there's a female genital mutilation bill that we've been made aware of. And we're going to talk about that too, because I've got some questions for JP and Allison. But first, JP, take it away.
Black News.
There was a report last night that the Pentagon asked the White House for $200 billion for Iran war supplemental. Can you confirm this, and can you explain why a package this large is necessary?
$200 billion. I think that number could move. Obviously, it takes money to kill bad guys.
If there are people who have stepped up to serve our government in any capacity that are not getting a paycheck as a result of this body not doing its job, then we shouldn't get one either.
Trump could soon force banks to take part in an immigration crackdown. What I mean by that is sources tell CNN the administration is considering requiring financial institutions to collect and verify their customers' citizenship status, something banks aren't currently required to do. One source says the new policy could come through in executive orders.
I confirmed this morning. You see, there's a foreign power that was discussing routing USAID money to Joe Biden's campaign in 2024. That was intercepted by our intelligence agencies. They should be driving that narrative with evidence. They don't know how to command the podium. They don't know. President Trump does. His storytellers don't. They react. They counterpunch. They let the other people throw the first punch, like Tulsi today, and they don't tell the narrative.
Here in Van Nuys, California, massive fraud is taking place with hospice. For instance, this location, Miracle Healing Hospice, billed over $1.3 million. Medicare paid them $966,000. Something interesting about this location: if you come right here to Miracle Healing Hospice, and if you want to knock on the door, nobody's going to answer because nobody's actually inside.
Why would you leave the window curtains open? If you're committing fraud, close the window curtains.
But now I figured out how to pay my medical bills.
How?
Commit fraud.
No, you'll go to jail.
Well, I'm going to move to California.
No, you'll go to jail because you're half white. Maybe not. You're
I'm going to play it up.
White colonist, bigot, terrorist that makes sourdough bread.
I do. But for that, I can go all whoever I need to be. But
Sure.
everyone, that's a public service announcement. If you need help paying your medical bills, because you're actually responsible, just go to California, commit medical fraud, say you're opening a hospice, get the government to give you a bunch of money, and voila.
Are they Somali too?
No, I don't think so. But yeah, we haven't talked much about Nick Shirley this week. Went to California and did a similar expose like he did in Minnesota and uncovered 170 million total of fraud.
Didn't he say it was worse than Minnesota?
Oh my gosh.
Probably more out in the open and blatant, where it's almost the government's in on it,
Yeah.
and Newsom's in on it. And so.
Oh my gosh. Why does anybody listen to Newsom at all?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know.
Okay.
And what's been done in Minnesota?
Yeah, nothing. Well, they're claiming to be investigating, but it's been.
Isn't that JD Vance? Isn't he the fraud czar?
Yeah, now he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been 3 months, almost 4,
So, how much money would the American people save based just on the fraud in Minneapolis and California alone if they
Hmm.
actually cared?
What did you say? 137.
It was 170 million in California.
And
was,
that's just for hospice.
Yeah, mainly hospice care fraud. Let's see how much was uncovered in Minnesota. Minnesota fraud count. I'm not seeing a total number anywhere.
Wasn't it like 90?
It was more than the GDP of Somalia. I want to say like 19 billion or something.
No way.
GDP.
No, 9 billion. Didn't somebody recently say it was $9 billion from Minnesota?
All the zeros run
I-
together.
Same. Like, who has time to count all of them?
Yeah, I'll have to find the exact total number, but it's a lot.
Okay. I'm just wondering.
It's enough to have some arrests and prosecutions from the fraud czar. It just is not czaring very much.
There's no czaring.
I mean, if you're going to call somebody a czar, like there's swords and dueling and jousting and all that, it seems like should be involved.
Mhm.
But we got nothing.
I need you to czar.
Czars better be czaring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And you know how I know the czar should be czaring?
How?
Have you seen what's going on in Somalia, in Mogadishu, outside of Mogadishu?
Not again.
There is a building boom
Oh, because they're sending all their money back?
because they're sending all their money over there. They're robbing us, according to reports, robbing us blind, and they're sending it to Somalia. I found it this morning. I was like, oh, of course. Czar, please, czar.
Okay. What could be the reason that our federal government would be allowing this? Like what would we be getting in return? I really don't know the answer. But why would we want to build maybe for the first time Somalia? Like why aren't we doing anything about this?
That's the grand question. I don't know. Well, in terms of domestically, I mean, it's a slush fund for these people, the politicians.
Yeah, but if there's a building boom, like Ab said, and that's what she's seeing in Mogadishu, and they are funneling this money back to Somalia, I'm sure parts of it for sure go back into Democrats, even Republicans' campaign funds. But what would be the reason? And I'm genuinely, maybe there's not one. I don't know. But like, why? It seems like there's no way the state of Minnesota or California didn't know this was happening. Dare I say Republicans and Democrats in Washington, there's no way well, I guess that's state, but it's federal funds. I mean, how do you lose $9 billion?
It seems like you might notice.
Yeah. So my question is, and maybe there's not an answer, but maybe it's just because they love Somalia and they want new buildings in Somalia. But why? If it's certain other countries, you could maybe see the benefit. Like maybe we're getting a kickback. But I don't know what Somalia has to offer us. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a geopolitical answer, but it's a little bit more.
Answer.
Is it
What is it?
conspiratorial?
I mean, some people may say it is.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Israel recognized Somaliland as a nation
Oh shoot! I
late last
forgot
year.
about that.
So this may be a little bit of, and by the way, nobody wants to take in the Palestinians because they're a problem. I mean, when Jordan took them in, however many years ago that was, literally they tried to overthrow the government and got to the steps of the palace. So
Forgot
now
about that.
every Palestinian has a different passport in Jordan than the rest of the Jordanians. And Egypt doesn't want to take them because of the same reason. Like none of the Muslim nations around want to take in the Palestinians. So Somaliland, Israel can recognize them as a nation. That may be a potential place to push the Palestinians into. And we can be on the hook to funnel that money back in. It's almost like a rent program or
JP,
something.
you might be a savant.
Oh my gosh.
It's everything is connected. Yeah, but I think our taxpayer dollars are on the hook of you pay for it pretty much.
Wow.
My mind is blown. That's the most rational. It's a very rational reason.
Because when it happened, it's like, why would
that was weird.
why would
I
Israel
remember that.
recognize Somaliland as a nation? But none of the Muslim nations around want to take them in. So they got to go somewhere if Israel wants to do what they want to do.
Well,
Okay. It's good.
mind blown.
Totally.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we're gonna file that one in the back of our brains and see what happens. But that's pretty good.
It's yeah, but the frustrating part is we pay for it,
Yeah.
with our tax dollars.
And you wonder how many Republicans and Democrats, because it's all of them, are getting kickbacks, because that's another reason. If you were serious about this, you would have already prosecuted. Yes, I understand that this is a gargantuan problem, but you start little by little, and we're seeing nothing. This is the Ukraine of Africa. Like, it's just pouring, and what are we getting out of it? Nothing. They're not doing anything.
Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah. Them, everything. They could stop it if they wanted to on a dime, and they haven't.
Yeah, and this is a nation of they're not even a nation of Somalia. It's just a bunch of warlords fighting each other. That's really what it is. But this is the same place that Mike Durant and his buddies got shot down, and they were beating American soldiers with legs of their friend. Like, this is the place that we're funneling money to.
Yeah.
But also, you look, they're right across the bay from Yemen, and the Houthis are a problem for Israel and us. But so there's a lot of reasons why Somalia is the thing that apparently we're interested in too. But it is. People may get offended by it, but if you're talking like the worst of the third world, like Somalia, it's probably in that list, and they hate us. But we bring them in and then send money to them. It's just a total mess.
Which makes sense with the Minnesota flag. Like, we're trying to.
I'm going to Mike Benz this over the weekend and go check out and see if he has anything to say about Somalia, because this seems like this could be such a deep op by the CIA. But then you just said something that's so interesting to me, is we constantly take in people who hate us and wish us dead. And we keep doing it. Why are we doing that? This doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. The least nefarious answer is we're caring and we're generous and we're loving. But I think the real answer is a bit more sinister and layered.
Yeah.
Layered.
I like
that word.
I like that. That's good, JP. That's that's good.
What'd y'all think too about apparently $200 billion because the Pentagon doesn't have enough money to do what it's doing in Iran? Isn't that crazy?
Okay.
It takes a lot of money to kill people.
Y'all have a lot of money. How much money? Let's see. How much money did the Pentagon get in the big, beautiful bill?
It's kind of like the Education Trust Fund in Alabama. Like, how much more money do you need? Because we're just now barely learning how to read. Thank God. Like, we're thankful for that. But when they tell you the number that's in there, but then they need more money.
It's like we had to hire teachers to teach the teachers how to teach the kids how to read. That's a real thing.
That means you have more money than you know what to do with.
So
use phonics.
Annual spending for the from the Pentagon is now over $1 trillion, and they got approximately 150 to 156.2 billion in the big beautiful bill last year. But they need 200 billion more. That's just that. What do we get? What are we paying the Pentagon? Or what is our money going to with the Pentagon if that's not enough to do what you need to do?
The military industrial complex to build more bombs. missiles, ammunition, whatever.
But the amount of fraud that's in the Pentagon, which is funny, Doge was not allowed to go and do anything with.
They've never passed an audit.
Yeah.
Or had an audit. Wait,
they never passed an audit.
They've never passed an audit. There's always like billions, millions of dollars that go missing from the
I'm hearing
Pentagon.
about I can hear Mike's brain the last time we went on a trip, listening to him explain all the pass-throughs that go on and all the CIA banks. And
You're talking
nobody
about
thinks
you
to
just were
check
listening to
there.
his podcast.
I was listening to his
Okay,
podcast.
you haven't been on
Sorry.
vacation with Mike.
I haven't been on vacation.
I was like,
I don't know him.
How have we missed this?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Don't know him. Thank you. Listening to him, I was getting lost I was actually near Gadsden when I was listening to him last describe the pass through and the balance sheets and how nobody thinks to go look in that area as far as the war machines are concerned, because you just give them what they want without ever thinking, why do you need that much money? So people are waking up, but I'll listen to one of his podcasts this weekend to see if he has anything to say. This is interesting.
What stinks is what's the option? We lose. You know, they know they have us in a corner because nobody likes to lose. I don't want to be a loser.
I don't want to be a loser.
It's just nuts to me how much money they have, and they need $200 billion more. And that number could move to do it. Just, I don't know.
You say it so casually.
And they do. And yet I go back to what Rich Lusk posted a couple days ago. Not that we're in the war and that we don't want to win, because now we're in it. You got to win. Why didn't we handle it? And we've talked about this on the show. Why didn't we handle it? How many years ago was it? 47? 47 years ago. Why didn't we handle it then? We've let it fester when we could have just snuffed it out. Think about oh boy, I bet our minds would be blown if we saw how much money people have made off of just this conflict alone.
Good point.
Throw in Somalia, throw in Ukraine. We are being robbed blind. We don't hate our government enough.
Yeah, that's true. Which, speaking money related, any hope that it's not Katie Britt's bill, but she was talking about John Kennedy's bill about no paychecks and a shutdown. I love it. I love it from Katie Britt. She's been on this for, I mean, she refused.
She's good.
Yeah, she refused the paycheck during the shutdown last year. I don't, like I said, I don't know how much hopes of it's going to come of anything, but props to her for being, because she put her money where her mouth is, you know. So
I'm very impressed. I just was like, you go, girl. What did you think?
No, I mean, I think she's dead on. Like, it's so hypocritical. And it's really bad to pick and choose who gets paid and who doesn't. You know, like if you work for the government, you've got Homeland Security, you know, you've got all these people not getting a paycheck. Oh, but these people will keep paying. And, you know, y'all are the ones that put us in this position to take our paychecks away. So I'm for it. I don't know. Wasn't Tuberville going to give back? Like, I remember him saying he wasn't going to take a paycheck. He wasn't going to get paid from Congress. I don't think that ever happened. So, but I hope that they will actually do something about it. It's the right thing to do. They never suffer getting escorted by the TSA line. You know, oh, I'm on my phone. I got official government business to do. Y'all peons stay in. Did y'all see Atlanta's line at, holy cow. And our congressional delegations are just blowing past all those, like making millions on their stock trades and their salaries as they go by. So good for her, but I hope she can get something done.
At least she's bringing exposure to it and the hypocrisy. But, oh my gosh. So go, Katie. Go, Katie, go. And John. Someday I'd love to have John. Maybe you can get John and Katie on at the same time.
Who's John?
Kennedy.
John Kennedy.
Oh.
Wouldn't that be a blast? You know what a banger lineup would be? John Kennedy, Katie Britt, and Tim Burchett.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my. That's like
a powerhouse right
that's
there.
Like three, the most different personalities maybe I could come up with.
Mm-hmm.
be really good and representative.
When we go to DC, let's shoot for them, like to get them on. Be fun. When are we going to DC? I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
We just show up. Let us in.
Do you think we could do it?
Kennedy's office, y'all? If he's right next to Tommy Tuberville, and when you walk by, you do a double take. He has a giant, I don't know what else to call it, but a stuffed. I guess you don't stuff them. You freeze them. Plastered alligator.
Nuh-uh.
Oh yeah, I've seen it in some.
It's
of the videos.
giant, and it's like 9 feet tall, and it's as tall as these lights, and it's right in his doorway, and it's terrifying, but so cool. He's insane in the best way.
Yeah, in a really good way.
I think that's what we
You
should
would like
shoot
him.
for. We need to, for those guys. It'd be great.
We'll see if we can do it.
It's a dream. It's
Yeah.
a dream. I'm putting the dream out there.
Y'all think we'd be allowed to do a tour of the Capitol video like we did tour of the State House?
Absolutely.
You know, if we do the okay, y'all remember a while ago, a few months ago, the trap door that's we're going in the trap door. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
Do you know-
yes.
Hey,
And
do you know who's going to take us around?
who?
Our old friend.
We have friends?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, you think they let him? Oh, there's no way.
I think she could help us.
I don't think she can get us in the trap door.
I think she could get us in the trap door. Think about where
No.
she works.
We're going to have to go higher than that.
Okay, well,
But anyway, that's where we're going to go. And then the crypt that's down,
we're going.
like you go all the way down. I can't remember who's. It's not George Washington.
We're going.
Somebody's down there.
Abe?
There's a gate over it, like in the bottom of the basement. Anyway,
Let's
Creepy.
crowd fund our trip.
I've been to DC one time and it was in 8th grade.
I love DC so much. I want to hate it, but I absolutely love it.
It's yes, I love it too.
I love it.
That trip kind of because it was right after Trump got elected and we took our trip to DC, our field trip, and that's like what hooked me on politics was that trip.
Yeah. I mean, and then we could have time to go through, like, really, instead of on a 5th grade field trip, the museums. There's a couple that I want to go back and just go through. After, of course, we have a very serious interview with serious people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we're doing it.
real quick, because don't we go to break in like just a few minutes?
Un minuto.
Okay. Did y'all see Tommy Tuberville say that Joe Kent is a member of the deep state?
No.
What do y'all think about that?
What? I don't know.
Yeah.
What is, by the way, we have to go before Tuberville is gone. So that's
Yeah,
why
that's
we
true.
really have to go. He's saying he's a member of the deep state.
This is a story by Austin Shipley. He said, there's a lot more to the story than what you think. This is Tuberville, not Austin. He was not invited back for the last several months to confidential intelligence briefings, and there are a lot of reasons for that. He didn't live up to the expectations for our country or support President Trump at all. He needed to resign at the end of the day. And then he went on to call him a member of the deep state.
Okay. Look, there's a lot of reports. There's, like we talked about yesterday, one side's like, no, he was doing good things, and other people are like, nah, he was a leaker.
Okay. He goes on to say, so at the end of the day, this is Tuberville, if somebody in the situation does not agree with the decisions made by our Joint Chiefs, Secretary of War, President Trump, all the generals involved, and all the admirals involved, he needs to find another job because you're just one person out there. Okay. We'll be back on the right side.
And y'all have heard us talk about Inspire Advisors, how Paul Breyer and his team at Inspire Advisors will help you grow your investment portfolio while also screening out companies that don't stand for conservative Christian principles.
Paul and his team are experts on what they call biblically responsible investing. And for a limited time, they're hosting a free class that you can register for.
Check out the class and register for free at moneypatternwealth.com. It's godly, it's conservative, and it's financial freedom.
Again, go to Inspire Advisors at moneypatternwealth.com. Check them out and tell them you heard about them at Rightside.
We've again, fully funded those initiatives. We also did another thing where we set up some buckets where we're tracking, for example, teacher recruitment's going on was in a bunch of different line items. We put it all together. Let's look at teacher recruitment. We set up a bucket for innovation for pilot programs for artificial intelligence. That's coming at us quickly, but we need to know how teachers need to handle that, how the students need to handle that. So we took some reputable pilot programs that we put in a bucket. We'll watch that and see how that goes. So I think, record funding, fully funding the initiatives that have worked, and maybe a few others that like, for example, the outcome-based funding for higher ed. Going ahead again, the second year of the Choose Act. We'll see where that goes, where that grows. That's going to grow, and we'll just see how much. And then basing the funding on student needs from the RAISE Act is really, really important, because in Alabama, what we've always done is take the total dollars we have and divide that by the heads and say this is what everybody gets. But you have some systems that have a lot of needs, special needs. They have ELL needs. They have poverty. They have gifted programs, and we weren't funding those specifically. We're now beginning to do that.
Quick question. You talked about moving the needle, and we all were very excited to see, for example, with reading, we're growing. And I noticed in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, we're employing phonics again.
Right.
What are we doing with math? Are we veering away from Common Core math, or are we sticking with that? Like, tell me more about that.
Well, we have the Numeracy Act. You mentioned I'm a guru on education. We have education policy and education budgets.
Okay.
I'm not on policy, so I
Okay.
don't know all the details of the policy. But I will say that we're going back to maybe just the type of math that makes sense.
Okay.
Put it that way.
I'm for that.
And critical thinking is part of this. I mean, it's not just the way I did it, but eons ago. It's a little more to it than that. But we basically put in some measures there and some requirements and some guidelines. And after 7 years, that seems like a long time, but it takes time to kind of get the ships turned around. After 7 years, if a school that's not proficient doesn't show adequate progress, then there's consequences. We will either take the school over at the state level, or we would convert that school to a charter school. And we've got 3 charter school conversions going on in Montgomery right now, and they're doing well. You have to look at the data underneath the data to see how the progress is occurring. But we're really optimistic about that. So the point is that we're going to demand that we meet the proficiency, and if we don't, there'll be consequences.
As we wrap up, what do you see coming through your committees for the next, I think y'all have 3 weeks left, maybe some spring break in there. What do you anticipate coming out of your committee from here?
So we have a couple of things we've been kind of sitting back on. Number one, we get the budgets passed. We've got a lot of requests for different tax credits, and we've been looking to try to reduce taxes, but we've got to balance that against, at the end of the day, what do we see revenue kind of stabilizing. So we've got to determine what makes sense. I think what we have 2 bills in committee this week I'm interested to hear about. One is an overtime bill. We had overtime bill before that was a year and a half sunset. It's sunsetted. That one was actually different than what the Trump overtime bill was. So this bill that Representative Lomax has in committee this week will kind of model what the Trump legislation did. I think that will help us eliminate some of the abuse that was going on with the previous bill. So that one's coming up in committee this week. The other one that's not gotten any publicity at all, but I'm really interested in, is we've got a bill that Representative Stubbs is carrying that will limit or clarify and restrict the ability of faculty senates in higher education. Similar legislation that's passed in Florida and Texas. This also looks into some of the tenure opportunities there. I don't know how quickly that one might move, but I think that discussion needs to be had, and we'll have it this week in the committee. Those are 2, but I would say the overtime is going to move. Of course, the education budget has moved upstairs to the Senate, so hopefully we'll have whatever changes they make would be something we can concur with. May have to go to committee, but I don't anticipate huge problems there.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Lots of good questions and answers, and education is something that kind of how both of us really got started in this, and we will watch closely and appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. It's going to be
Thank
with
you.
you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back on the right.
For students. So say you're a homeschool student and you want to take French at a public school that offers it and they have room for you, why not let them?
Yes.
Or if you even have a private school student maybe that wants to take calculus 2 or one of these other classes that there's just not enough of them in one setting to provide a teacher for, let them pay a fee and take it at a public school. So I want to see more tailor-made education. So that was important to me, that 250 million went through on education choice. And to see the students that are participating in that now.
Welcome back. You're on the right side. And maybe you see a little 30 seconds longer of a break. That's because we're still talking about something else.
Yeah, does everybody panic when the music stops? Because I do.
I panic a
No.
little bit, but
don't
JP's
panic?
so patient with us because he lets us finish our combo. Okay. So this hour, again, a lot to get to. There's some things going on in Alabama. We have JP on sports. We have Clown World, and then we'll have the end of the day. It's crazy. And then next week, we are going to Auburn, and we will be participating in some Turning Point USA events by live streaming.
Abs is.
Are we going to live stream? Are we going to go or no? But we
Yeah.
could go to Auburn. We're going to Auburn.
We're-
Surprise.
Abs is driving.
I'll drive.
Yeah.
I'll drive.
Okay.
But we have a good week next week. We have boring meetings that are going to accomplish a lot.
They're not going to be nothing we do is ever boring.
I am going to
Abs-
make cookies for the meeting, though.
I did make a comment last night that I feel like I can't remember who I was talking to. I feel
Yeah,
like you could put the three of us in a padded room and we would make it fun.
Do you know what would happen?
That's the
The
ultimate
people in
compliment.
charge of the padded room would come let us out because they're like, we thought this would calm you down.
It didn't work.
It didn't work. Okay. So we were sent a few stories. Well, one story, and then saw the other story. Let's real quickly circle back, Saki, to the closed primary and an article. And I don't know if you were sent the article or you found the article, because the closed primaries in Alabama also are similar to the SAVE Act in DC and people losing their minds over that.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem, because it passed the House in Alabama, that people lost their minds, and we'll wait to see what happens in the Senate. But it's interesting that they're happening at the same time. That here we want you to register for your party. There we want you to, on a national level, because it all involves elections, you have to use a government issued ID. Simple. People are losing their minds there as well. So interesting that those are kind of parallel, trying to make elections more secure. Don't know if it's possible, but.
Well, closed primaries did pass the Alabama House yesterday, but not without some drama. And we were on air when they started debating the bill, because a friend of ours was there and I was getting updates, and they commented that Representative Chris Kringle. It's Chris Pringle.
Like the chip.
Yeah, not like the Santa. Who is a Republican, got up and went at Representative Ernie Yarborough, who's carrying this SAVE Act.
What?
And it was so the clip is kind of long and it starts to meander, but can we play just a few minutes of
Yes.
Chair recognizes
This is a
the
Republican.
gentleman from Mobile, Pro Tem Pringle.
Oh, he's walking. Grabs the mic.
You're a pretty conservative fellow, aren't you?
I think so.
Did you vote for Roy Moore or Luther Strange?
What does that have to do with
What?
what does that have to do with the bill?
I'm just trying to figure out, did you vote for the most conservative Republican or the other one? You can give me an answer.
I voted for Roy Moore.
You know, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I agree with Mr. England. I watched the Democrats do this to themselves. their arrogance, they decided they were handpicking candidates for the legislature. Exactly what happened to you last week when they threw your opponent off the ballot because you were paying the right person who was sitting on that committee. When we start handpicking people and telling the voters you're not smart enough to make a decision, we're going to make it for you, that's arrogance beyond all comprehension. I've never met the man. I don't know who he is. This is being driven by a man that keeps running for the legislature and losing. So he's trying to change the Republican process because he can't get elected. You will drive this party into the dirt with this bill. You understand that. If you don't believe me, did you ever meet Guy Hunt before he was elected governor?
You know I didn't.
I met him.
Probably cut it
He
here.
walked out of Sunny.
Just kind of go. He talks about Guy Hunt. He talks about how Gary Palmer will never get elected in his district again because it'll go blue. And but that was so tacky and unprofessional, in my opinion. And that is coming from a fellow Republican. And then this is my favorite part. They go to vote, and Chris Pringle votes yes.
Of course.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding. So what do we do? What was all like? That is so Montgomery. Now, again, somebody text me right now and tell me what I'm missing, because maybe I'm missing something. Maybe something happened. All we know is what we can see. Lord have mercy. I can't be in Montgomery's dungeon every day. It's exhausting and it smells like mold.
Unless you'd give us offices there and then we'd go.
There's no cafeteria. Y'all lied. That sign lied.
Despite like the 20 signs, there's no cafeteria.
There's no cafeteria.
So what we're saying is that Chris Pringle went after Ernie Yarbrough because somebody told him to go after Ernie Yarbrough to humiliate Ernie Yarbrough. And after he had humiliated him, then he voted with him.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing Chris Pringle said should be listened to.
And he accused Ernie, if I'm hearing that correctly, he accused Ernie of paying someone to get not Jesse Battles. That's a different race. Who's the other guy that Manusco? Somebody. Anyway, he accused Ernie of getting someone that was going to run against him kicked off the ballot. That's a serious accusation that you just made publicly.
Can somebody run against Chris Pringle next time, please? What a giant jerk.
Well, I do know all the talk out of Montgomery was that he did not make any friends yesterday. If anything, he made some enemies and looked really insecure and immature and petty. Now, Chris Pringle can call us and tell us his side of why. No, and also on that, we have said that closed primaries are not like the be all end all.
Mm-mm.
It's not a foolproof system. But I just thought it was really tacky.
It is incredibly tacky. It was like the schoolyard bully. He got with somebody and said, okay, well, these are a couple things you just need to put out there.
Yeah.
And it was intended to humiliate. And he ended up looking like he looked like the size of a gnat when he was done trying to eviscerate Ernie. And it didn't work because Ernie did what you're supposed to do in debates and just stand there and stare at your accuser while they get all the crap out, because he didn't mean it. If he meant it, he wouldn't have voted with Ernie.
Yeah.
Or for the closed primaries.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have done it. So shut up, Chris Pringle, unless you want to come on and explain it. But that doesn't, you erased your argument. You had no principle.
Y'all tell me if I'm off base here, but if you're throwing a fit and claiming that the Alabama Republican Party will get run into the dirt by keeping registered Republicans voting in your primaries, is that a little bit of an indictment on the current state of the party as a whole?
Wait, expand on that. What do you mean?
Like, if you feel threatened that Democrats are going to stop voting in elections, in your Republican elections,
Yeah.
that's a bit of an indictment on
Who is electing Chris Pringle?
well, not just Chris Pringle, but I mean, if he's the one throwing a fit about it, then yes, Chris Pringle, but just the whole entire state of the party. Like, if Chris Pringle is saying the Alabama Republican Party will get run into the dirt if Democrats are kept from voting in our elections, that's a bit of an indictment of the current state of the entire party.
I see what you're saying.
And Chris Pringle, because he's the one that went up and is dying on this hill, but then voted for it. So
Yeah. Way more respect for Chris Pringle if he gets up and says that. I mean, I still think you could have worded it a little better, but whatever. And then you vote no.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I expected a big giant, if they could have given him an expanded check no in the nay section.
which, by the way,
That felt really personal.
it did. It was explained to me this way last night, and I didn't even know this. Maybe y'all did. But if this bill is passed this session, it won't even go into effect until 2030. Because how it was explained to me was, however you vote in 2028, that is you register, like whichever party you vote for, that is you registering for that party moving forward. And then it won't go into effect until 2030 in the midterms. Now, whichever party you voted for in 28, that's your party, unless you go and change it. So it's not even going to come into effect immediately. You have to see how you vote in 28, whichever way you vote in 28, that's your party now, starting in 2030. So imagine if they keep kicking this can down the road, next session, we won't even have close primaries until 2034, 2038.
I'll be in the nursing home.
It's crazy. No, you won't.
I won't. I hope I'll be being crazy with y'all. That's odd. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm looking it up. I think there were a few Republicans that voted against it.
Oh, who? Do tell.
Well, I'm looking it. I'm going to have to get back to you.
All right. So because I know we want to get to JP on sports, I do want to cover this bill that our friend sent us, and I appreciate you sharing it with me. I had seen it a couple months ago, but there's a bill. We're going to watch it, but the female genital mutilation bill is a horrifying bit of legislation, not because we're not for it. We are for it, but because of what it implies moving forward. Right? Because think about it. In Tennessee, last session, somebody brought up this idea that you could marry your cousin, brother. I don't even remember. And why would they do that? Well, because of perhaps the people moving into that community who do like to marry their cousins. And so here, when you bring up female genital mutilation, it seems like you wouldn't even have to have a bill regarding that, but you do. Why? Well, perhaps it's because of what's being attempted in other parts of the country, like Dearborn, Michigan, Texas, a little bit of Georgia so far. You're telling us what you think might be moving in. Ayan Hersey, who did become a Christian, she was an atheist and became a Christian. She has a really interesting book because she left an arranged marriage and escaped because she was abused, and talks a lot about it and is the foremost advocate for not allowing our girls to have their genitalia mutilated. A practice brought here by African nations. So I think this is wonderful that this is trying to be passed in Montgomery. This is great. But when I read it, the first thing I thought is, oh my gosh, what do they know that's coming that we don't? Or is it just a national push? That still is telling us what's coming.
I don't know. We're going to have to dig into that one because that kind of came out of nowhere. I think that maybe, and who sponsored the bill?
Great question. Don't know the answer to that.
Let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
I'm still looking on.
Oh, here we go. Rod Scott from Fairfield.
Oh, no.
But no longer in the legislature.
He tried to pass it. I'll look it up after I do this one. But I'm looking up for the Republican House members that voted against closed primaries. Again, if you want to vote against something, that's fine. Maybe your constituents don't want it. That's fine. I don't know why these Republicans voted against it. Maybe they have a very good reason, but you don't get up and bully and cause a scene and then vote for it. Anyway, Terry Collins voted no. Tim Wadsworth voted no.
Really?
Philip Rigsby. Wait, he might be a Democrat. I can't remember.
No, he's a Republican. He's from Madison.
Okay, he voted against it. Y'all, I'm about to sneeze again.
Oh gosh.
And then
Bless you.
Bless you, Allison.
somebody got
Now
shot.
imagine that behind me last night out of nowhere.
behind you in the middle of a very serious
Yes.
forum.
Quiet. Yeah.
Sorry, it came out. And then Russell Bedsole is a Shelby County Republican, voted against it. Joe Lovern was abstained. That's kind of lame.
That's super lame.
But okay. Anyway, I think there was another Republican. Okay. What do I need to look up? House Bill 644.
House Bill 644 dropped to make female genital mutilation a Class B felony. And there's only a few days left. So that is something, and I recognize that they were making a national push, but I also recognize it's the little things that they do that tell us what they think is coming. Why would you do that if you didn't need to get ahead of something?
Okay. This is Prince Chestnut. He's a Democrat. He has it's a bipartisan bill. Hollis, Drummond, Warren, Lawrence, Clark, Halsey, Hall, Brown, and Pringle. Well, there's that.
Okay, that's
But that is kind of weird. And has been criminalized. Who does this though? This is not a normal American. Do you know what I'm saying? Like this is not part of our culture. So I'm with you, Abs. What's
because it's an Islamic thing. It's an African thing.
Here, synopsis of the bill. Female genitalia mutilation is the practice of partially or totally removing the external genitalia of a girl or young woman for non-medical reasons and has been criminalized in the United States federally and in multiple states. This bill would establish the crime of female genital mutilation, provide criminal penalties, and provide an exception only under limited circumstances when medically necessary. So who in the world in Alabama is performing genital mutilation on females just for fun? Or
they're doing it's a cultural deal.
Volunteer. So
like it's really
it's
horrific.
happening here.
It must be.
To where the Democrats and Republicans are coming together to stop it. We're running out of time. Apparently this has been brought up several times. Who was the other legislator that you mentioned first?
From Fairfield,
Rod Scott. He left the legislature in 2022. He had introduced this bill, I think, twice, never got anywhere. Now it's coming up again at the end of session, which is great because we can bring attention to it, but we only have a few. I think if it goes through the normal process, you need 5 legislative days to actually get a bill through both committee and floor votes in both chambers. And we're coming up against that really quickly. But this is good, but not good.
This is not good.
Can I just say,
good, but not good. You're right.
Were y'all expecting this much of a lively session from beginning to end?
I said it was going to be boring.
Had no idea.
What scares me is that gambling really now there's been a few, I think, local gambling bills that have been dropped in the Senate, mainly. I think one was about to come up, was filed, and they removed it. If it's hard to follow along. What terrifies me is that it has been very quiet generally on the gambling front, which tells me they're waiting for Tuberville to be in the governor's office, because Tuberville has been very open and honest that he said it a few weeks ago, we want to give the people of Alabama the right to vote on it, which to me is subliminal for, yeah, we're good with gambling and casinos and the lottery. And I'm not going to come out and say that, but we're going to give the people a right to vote on it. And I have a feeling next session it is going to come fast and furious. Now, how many times have we taken a constitutional amendment vote by the people and we have voted it down every single time? It might not be successful. So just because it passes the legislature with the governor's office's approval, that doesn't mean it's coming to Alabama, but gird your loins.
Oh my goodness.
Gird your loins.
We will have to go down more often next year.
What does that mean? Like pull up your panties?
Like
I have no
prepare
idea.
yourself for it's
Like
it's an ancient phrase.
is it like is that like grab your sword?
Cover yourself because the
Yeah.
sword's coming.
Okay.
Hey, I got a suggestion.
Yes, sir.
What if we push this break all the way to 11:30? We do some JP on sports
Right now?
Right now?
right now.
Okay.
And on
Oh,
the other
good.
side, we do maybe a 3 and then a clown world to end the show.
I think
Sure.
that sounds like
All right, let's go.
genius.
Okay.
What a
Well,
producer.
First.
I love JP on sports because I get to sit back and just listen, drink my prebiotic soda.
Well, we are going to talk March Madness, obviously. However, we got some serious business to talk about first.
Giving
And-
them the business.
It's not a very happy story, but it is an important story. If y'all remember when we talked about last week, the Iranian women's soccer team that was having to seek asylum in Australia for not singing along with the national anthem, and they were afraid to go back. Well, Iran yesterday executed an ex-champion wrestler, 19 years old, in Iran for participating in the protests. I think it was last year they executed another wrestler for speaking out against the regime. But Saleh Mohammadi on Thursday in the city of Qom, QOM, was killed alongside 2 other men in what marked a major escalation tied to the anti-government protests that erupted in January of 2026. Mohammadi, excuse me if I'm mispronouncing that, was a high-profile athlete in a country where wrestling is the national sport. His state-mandated killing sent a chilling message. This is from Outkick. Says the judiciary charged the 3 men with Moharebe, waging war against God, accusing them of killing 2 police officers during the January 8 riots and of acting as agents for Israel and the United States. So this is a 19-year-old champion wrestler that was executed publicly in Iran for speaking out. It's just terribly sad that this happened, and it's just another glimpse into what the people in Iran do live under. You know, we talk about how we think the United States should be involved in the war, but regardless, it is horrible that Saleh Mohammadi, who was a very talented kid, I mean, he's 19 years old, and he was doing what he thought was right and was executed publicly for it. But it's just horrible that, and last year there was a big push by President Trump and others to save that wrestler who was executed. But now we have this tragic situation. It's just horribly sad. But like I said, just another glimpse into what the people of Iran have to live under.
What's the update on the soccer team girls? Are
I
they
don't
still in
know.
Australia?
As far as I know, they're still in
Gosh,
Australia.
don't go back.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, we lost a great wrestler and this young kid, but
I wonder when they go out in the street, they know this is a possibility, correct? And they chose him because it would get a lot of attention. Everybody would be paying attention. If they're willing to take out their prized fighter of their national sport, then they can take any of us out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm grabbing my mic like
Yeah,
this is
like
comfy.
this.
I like this. A Friday
You can
posture.
also do this.
It's a Friday posture. I love it.
By the way, real quick update. The Iran women's football team feted in Tehran after asylum battle at Asian Cup.
What is
It says Iran's national football team returned to their war-torn nation after several of the players sought asylum in Australia.
does that mean the asylum seekers are back there or the rest of the team?
I think the rest of the team besides the defectors went back. So also kind of connected, this is kind of crazy. The Washington Commanders, who advocate for gay pride, they are now celebrating a Muslim holiday. Did y'all see this?
That's ironic.
Yeah, this is also from Outcake. They celebrated Eid Mubarak, or Mubarak, which loosely translates to blessed Eid. I don't know. But what's funny is that the Washington Commanders, while celebrating this Muslim holiday, they also have they advocate for gay pride, and they actually let's see, they have an LGBTQ event that they host.
Okay.
But yeah, at the same time, they're
confused.
They're celebrating a Muslim holiday. Perhaps the most conflicted team in professional sports.
That just doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
One thing's not like the other.
Yeah, the Capitol Pride DC Parade and Festival on June 8th to 9th, the Washington Commanders hosted.
At least the Atlanta Hawks picked a lane and stayed in it.
I know, right?
These guys are like a cheap date.
One-
Just
We're going
tell me what you want me to do.
heterosexual strippers.
Yeah, they're not 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah. Right now, it doesn't sound so bad.
Respect that a little more.
And can they just go back to the Redskins too?
Please stop it.
That's what the peoples want.
That's what the actual tribe of the
Yeah.
who the logo was made after once.
You're right. They're just so politically correct.
Come on, man.
Yeah, let's see. Commanders per gay and per anti-gay religion. That's what the part of the Outkick article says. It's true.
Who would they side with if they had to pick? Are you going gay or anti-gay? We'll throw you off a building. Who are the Commanders going with?
They just would sit back and say nothing. Probably. They find a way to support both sides. They don't want to be Islamophobic.
Yeah, I'm thinking they side with Islam.
I think they do too. That's the safest bet.
Yeah.
Even though you can't even bet there either.
You
In
can't
Islam.
bet?
I don't think in Islam you can.
Oh, I thought you meant in Washington, D.C.
No, in Washington, D.C. Their bet is on the
stock
people
trading.
who, if you take the LGBTQ crowd that you say you're for also and drop them in the middle of a Muslim country, I don't think things would go very well.
No, they would not.
But hey, let's support all of them. We support all of them.
What's that called? Toxic
empathy?
Yeah.
Suicidal empathy.
Suicidal, literally.
Widowy.
Seriously.
I'm trying to check right now the current March Madness. Okay, so we've got Santa Clara and Kentucky playing right now, but Alabama plays today at 2:15 against Hofstra. And we're going to see if Alabama can play without their second best player because he got caught with 2.1 pounds of marijuana.
Go
Aiden
big or
Holloway.
go home.
I mean, what can I say? Okay, I'm not going to make that joke.
War
I'm not going to
Eagle.
make that joke.
War
Hey,
Eagle.
don't make it.
I mean, if you say it one more time, I may.
War Eagle.
I mean, you can take the kid from Auburn. You can't take the Auburn out of the kid, I guess, with Aiden Holloway. So what can you expect?
Yeah.
2.1 pounds of marijuana.
Bama does prefer the cocaine. Oh, I said it.
Girl.
I
You're
said it.
right.
Yeah. I mean,
it.
tell me I'm wrong.
You're correct.
Auburn's still like 10, 15 years behind with the weed.
Hang
we
on.
haven't progressed yet.
JP, what did we pick for our Bama Hofstra game? Didn't we all pick Bama?
Yes.
Okay.
I had Bama making it to the Sweet 16 and losing to Michigan because I want to win our March Madness.
I don't know what I picked Alabama.
We'll see.
I
though.
didn't know he was going to get caught with dealer amount of weed.
No, that's like I own the fields
Yes.
and all the growing equipment, and I package it and I deal it to the whole Southeastern Conference.
Unless he got framed.
Hey, by the way, we got to tell the audience that JP on Sports Every Week is brought to you by Inspire Advisors. If you want to go check out Inspire Advisors, their website is www.moneypatternwealth.com. Paul Breyer and his team at Inspire Advisors, they're experts in biblically responsible investing. So you're investing in Christian companies that are not against your values while also growing your bottom line. So go check them out. That's moneypatternwealth.com. Paul Breyer and his team will get you right, the weekly sponsor of JP on Sports. And we'll be right back with the 3. This is JP here with Rightside. I need to remind you that Inspire Advisors is one of our sponsors, and they are doing amazing work. We know this audience, and you're the kind of folks who believe in standing up for your principles and being good stewards of your resources. What if the companies you're invested in don't reflect your values at all? That's why you need to meet Paul Breyer and his team at Inspire Advisors. Inspire Advisors, they are experts in the field of biblically responsible investing. They can help you grow your bottom line while also being proud of what companies you invest in. Inspire Advisors, you got to go check them out. Here's their website, www.moneypatternwealth.com, and tell them you heard about it on Rightside Radio.
They are reflective of the
and several others as well. So I guess I would say I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I don't know if you were watching, but Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth said he felt good about it. So
right, I'm cautiously optimistic.
I'm hoping that is accurate. Thank you for being here. We will be watching along for sure. This is an issue that we've been talking about, especially since 2022. That election, closed primaries has been a hot topic.
Thank you.
I'm the one.
You are the one. Appreciate you being here. Y'all, we are going to take a quick break, and we will be back with Speaker of the House, Nathaniel Ledbetter, and ALGOP Chairman Scott Stadhagen. You're on the right side. We'll be back.
But those people, those children's lives are changed forever. Their innocence is taken. And because of
for students.
So prevalent, but those people, those children's lives are changed forever. Their innocence is taken. And because of that, I don't think you can rehabilitate someone that's done that to a child that young. And that is the worst of the worst offenses. And in my opinion, it deserves the worst of the worst punishments. And I'm optimistic of this movement that's going across the country to try to bring back the death penalty for child rapists. I'm happy that we were the 6th state to pass it. I think there are other states on the way. And we're taking a serious challenge at the Supreme Court ruling to overturn their ruling in Kennedy versus Louisiana.
With the border problems, there's a lot of talk about human trafficking, and to me, some of those issues go hand in hand. What did you discover as you were researching for this bill and passing it, and what can the state do to curb human trafficking and some of the illegal immigration problems here?
You know, human trafficking is unfortunately, it's brought into our society more than it should be. You used to think about, well, what is really human trafficking? And nobody really understood what it was. The national media has really picked up on what's going on. It's probably because the border has been open. You see what's being brought in, and you see how they treat children. Unfortunately, they use children as a renewable resource. That instead of drugs where they can sell them one time, they sell children multiple times. And it's unfortunate. We need to do more. I'm very happy that I think it was 2 years ago we passed the mandatory life in prison for human traffickers. So I'm very happy that we're doing that. But I think we need to help our law enforcement partners more and allow the sheriffs and the police officers and FBI and ALEA and everyone involved in this we need to give them the resources that they need to be able to prosecute these cases. The DA's office, they've got to find these children because it's worth it. People ask all the time, well, isn't that just an expense? Isn't that something that you're asking these departments to pay for? You're asking these prosecutors to pay for? And it is, and it's something we should look for in the budgets to give them more money to their budgets because it's important. It's important to our youth. It's important to our children to be able to, not worry about what's going to happen to them. And they should go learn and be kids and experience life and not have that dark side of humanity that's been so prevalent in society anymore.
You bring you're incredibly tough on crime. Talking about not just the child trafficking, and we're so thankful for what you've done with the death penalty for child sexual assault. But let's talk about fentanyl, mandatory sentencing. Talk us through that because we have a huge problem.
We do. I'm very pleased that the problem is getting much better. I think that we owe that to President Trump and what they've done to the border, how they've really, really strengthened our border in the past few years under President Trump, Department of Homeland Security, what they've done. Because of that, deaths are down. Deaths are down in Alabama across the board for fentanyl overdoses. In 2023, when we passed that bill, it was kind of getting to the peak of what was going on because the border was open. You had these people that were the drug traffickers already had
the system in place to be able to traffic the marijuana and the heroin. They were being able to get this fentanyl from the time I've been.
Welcome back. This is the Right Side. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. So rolled through JP on sports, a little more somber, but fantastic as usual. And as we're going to roll into the 3 in a clown world, we wanted to give you an update that nobody wanted, but it's about the University of Alabama student and what happened.
This whole, I don't know what's going to come out about how this went down. He was over visiting in Barcelona for spring break. Some of his friends, I guess, that are studying abroad. James C., who's from Illinois, is a Theta Chi at Alabama. Says Gracie parted ways with his friends while clubbing early Tuesday night and was seen alive around 3 a.m. In the days that followed, his friends and family and brothers at the University of Alabama anxiously awaited. This is a CNN article. I don't know why I use CNN. It just popped up first. Gracie's father flew to Barcelona, where police patrolled the streets and scanned nearby beach. But the search ended Thursday when Gracie was found dead in the shallow ocean water in front of the club. Investigators say initial signs point to an accidental death. Still, the cause and circumstances of the young man's death are unclear. I really, because they were, yesterday, I read that they suspected foul play. I don't really know if you looked at a map. One of the articles I read had a map, and the nightclub was like right across from the beach.
Mhm.
It was like the nightclub, a road, and then on the other side, a little beach. And that's where he was found. But I feel like I heard somewhere around that they had his cell phone.
They did. They recovered his cell phone.
And that's kind of weird because, like, if you accidentally fall in the water, or you're like, I'm going to go for a swim on my way back, would you, maybe you would leave your cell phone on the beach. I don't know. It's just things aren't adding up. He wanted to stay at the nightclub. His friends left him there alone at 3 a.m.
And somebody else went with him. Like, he exited the nightclub with somebody.
Yes, but it wasn't any of his friends. And so he left the nightclub with someone. Yesterday, they said they suspected foul play. Now CNN is saying it looks like it was accidental. I don't know what the story is. Either way, it is not good. He was the chaplain of Theta Chi. I have, my daughter is his age, and so she has lots of friends that are Theta Chi's with him, and they just said he was the best guy, led Bible studies, was a mentor to so many kids in the fraternity, and just a really all-around great guy. It's just a reminder that, like I said, my daughter just got back from the Bahamas on spring break, and it makes me so sad because the world for our kids, even riding your bike in the neighborhood, isn't really safe anymore. It's so different than it was even 10, 15, 30 years ago. Is it eviler? I don't even know if that's a word.
There's a lot. Evil has a lot more access.
That's a good way to put it.
Maybe that's
Boy,
a great,
good.
yeah.
A lot more entry points.
There you go.
It is a tragic story, but I think what I take away from it is you just cannot. You got to look out for each other, especially in another country. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't go if in settings like that. I'm not leaving anywhere without my peeps. We're staying together.
Yes.
And it's just tragic because his friends kind of, and I this is not to shame them or whatever, but I mean, you gotta stay united with your people when you're out, especially in another country like that. Like I said, it's just horribly sad because now parents are without their son, friends are without their friend. So
it's tragic. It's absolutely tragic. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family, who are in Barcelona now.
I don't
be
know.
available. I was listening. I don't know if it was a Daily Wire or another report that they were making their way there to be available. But it is tragic. And don't leave your friends ever. Don't leave it's not just for girls. Because we tell our
Yeah.
girls all the time, do not ever go anywhere by yourself, and always keep whatever's in your hand alone.
Yeah. And he's a 20-year-old boy, you're like, and this is so bad, but I was thinking, like, wouldn't you know if you're leaving, if he's there, he wants to stay, who knows why he wanted to stay longer, but wouldn't you know if you're with like a sketchy person? But I don't think so. Because when you're in another country, I hate to say it, but we can size people up in America pretty quickly. Like you kind of know how, like with where you are in a city, how they dress, how they carry themselves. I mean, I'm just being honest. It's human nature. You're kind of like, it's kind of a sketchy person. Probably. It's different when you're abroad. You don't really know. And so he may have just thought he was with a great group of cool people from Spain. Turns out not so much. I don't know. Very sad.
Very, very sad.
Okay.
Okay. JP, on that note, you're going last in this segment because you have something cheerful.
Yeah, we need a good story to end Friday.
Okay. All right. Why don't we just do a 3? Okay. Who's first?
Awesome. Are you ready?
Okay. This is not a good story. I'm glad we're ending on you.
Okay.
But it's very informative. Kind of follows up with something else we talked about this week. The McCullough Foundation. Gosh, why did I just blank? What's his first name? Not Robert Malone. What's Peter?
Peter, yes.
Peter Pumpkin Eater. Peter McCullough of the McCullough Foundation just reviewed over 300 studies, and the results are absolutely devastating. The number one modifiable risk factor for autism, combination vaccines. Goes on to say they're stacking multiple shots into infants during the most critical windows of brain development. The single intervention stands out as the biggest trigger behind the skyrocketing rates of autism spectrum disorder. They're calling it exactly what it is. We have created a massive public health crisis through blind vaccine ideology. Profound autism, the kind where children are completely nonverbal, fully disabled, and require round-the-clock care for life, is now more common in American children than polio ever was at its peak in the 1950s. They surveyed over 13,000 people comparing vaccinated versus unvaccinated groups. And it goes on to talk about gender identity issues, neuroimmune system disruption, aluminum toxicity, mitochondrial damage, gut-brain axis destruction, all supercharged by injecting cocktail after cocktail into babies before their blood-brain barrier is even mature. And it goes on to share, this is, I'm not familiar with this, Stern Drew, but if you look up the McCullough Foundation, you can find it, but it goes through the multifactorial determinants of autism spectrum disorder based on these vaccines. And we went through it, Amy Beth, and I feel terrible, but we gave our kids, hey, yeah, you're right. They're 8 weeks old. Let's give them 6 vaccines in one visit. 6 vaccines. That's a great idea. Great idea for a tiny body. We're going to give them a giant shot and mix a bunch of stuff up while their brain is developing.
And you're going to like it, Mom.
Never mind their kidneys, their liver, like, no.
So
if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't. Maybe some of them. I think some of the older vaccines, the older technology is probably better. But man, I would do a bunch more research, and I would make them show me those black label boxes and those pamphlets that come in that say all the things that could happen so that I could actually make a decision. It's really scary. That's my good news for the day.
That's great news.
Well, you
It's
know what?
important news.
It is important news. And the good news is we are way more able to get information these days. And so new parents or grandparents, if you want to talk to your children as they vaccinate their children, your grandkids, you can have these discussions and you can make better decisions.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Okay. So here's something I want to throw out there for you. And I hadn't thought about this ever. And I saw it this morning. It was from Brandon Straka, who was with Walkaway. But it's a report, and it was on CNN. Again, it's not what is with us in CNN today being in our algorithm. But Trump is considering an executive order that would require anybody who went to get a bank account, basically having them have proof of citizenship, including existing accounts.
Oh.
Because this would mean that you would crack down on illegal immigration. If you can't prove that you're a citizen, you can't get a bank account. Remember, we talked about Somalia today and what's happening there. I want to show Allison this because it's crazy. So I thought, what a very creative way by Trump. I'm for this. You have to prove that you belong here before we'll let you put your money with us. That is a very effective way to get people to leave.
Because how would you get your money to Somalia if you didn't have a bank account?
Exactly. That's exactly right. How would you?
You'd have to go over, right?
Yep.
You'd have to like fly.
Yeah.
Bags of cash.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You'd have to, that's what you'd have to do.
But you can't even wire it because you have to have a bank account to wire. I mean, I'm trying to think. Like you would have no option.
And look, that's the story I was telling you earlier from Libs of TikTok about the boom in Somalia. So the stories go together. Just interesting. Thought I'd throw that out there for your consideration. It's a bit of better news.
Right.
No, that's great news because the more information we have, the more educated we are, the more we can go, yeah, I'm not going to really get these shots. Here, think about this over the weekend. Talk on it. What do you think?
Thinking outside the box. I like that.
Instead of debanking the conservatives, how about debank the people who shouldn't be here in the first place?
I like it a lot.
I do too.
Thank you so much.
Is it my turn?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll end on a good feel-good story. So last year, Ben Askren, who is a former MMA fighter, he went through one of the worst medical situations I've ever seen. He was wrestling. He's a wrestling coach still, and I guess he was wrestling himself and developed staph, which is common in especially in combat sports in that world. Well, soon it developed into pneumonia and reached his lungs. And long story short, he ended up dying 4 separate times during this process with pneumonia in his lungs,
septic,
and had to have a double lung transplant in this situation. Lost a tremendous amount of weight, and actually insurance wouldn't pay for it. Isn't that crazy? I think Dana White from the UFC had to fork up some money. But here's the good part from it. Before this, he was a avowed atheist, and actually his wife of 16 years was a devout Christian and had been praying for him to come to Christ. And he did go to church with her routinely, but he, was not a believer himself. Well, I'm actually going to play a video. This is from last year, after he came out of the surgery, and talked about how he came out of dying 4 times and out of this process a Christian.
Change you mentally, spiritually, anything like that?
I woke up and I decided I was a Christian, so that's crazy. I went with my wife to church for 15 years because that was part of the deal. I said, I'm not a Christian, but I'll support you. And it was really weird when I woke up. I'm like, I got to do it, So that was kind of weird, and it's so much gratitude for everyone who's helped out. So many people donate money, watch our kids, donate food. A lot of friends come and hang out with me. So just so much gratitude for the community around me, and it's kind of wild to me. I was always like, in my head, and I think this is true, I was a very controversial figure, where there were some people who loved me, but there's also some people who really didn't like me also.
Sure.
And I haven't had a negative thing said to me since I can remember. It's been only positive. And just a lot of love from the community.
So he got baptized last weekend.
Oh, wow.
Was that picture from his baptism?
His baptism from last weekend. And here's the best part of it too. his biggest rival, like, and when he was in the UFC, he and this guy were big rivals, hated each other. And he actually, oh, that's the wrong picture. He actually went to his baptism and was there with them.
Oh, wow.
So it's a very good story, in my opinion.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
What a beautiful church, too.
Mhm.
Right?
I wonder what denomination, but it's really pretty.
So 16 years of praying from his wife and his answered prayer.
Never give up.
That's a good word. Thanks, JP.
But God.
But God.
Amen.
That's good.
All right, do we want to end on Clown World? I got a pretty good Clown World today, I must
Can't
say.
wait.
I mean, I
Can't wait.
contributed nothing to this clown world, so this is going to be very entertaining. I can't wait.
Okay, well, let me pull it up. I forgot when I refreshed it earlier. I had to pull it back up, but yeah. This week's Clown World has got a lot of variety in it. Y'all talk for a little bit while I pull it up.
Okay. All right.
What are you doing this weekend, Abs?
Basketball.
Like,
Okay, all right, we got it. All right, ready?
oh.
And being conscious of the facts that I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state. Right? Now, there are some patriotic millionaires who've stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. Maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home, because our tax base has been eroded.
Well, well, well. How the turntables.
Hi, you know me as Julie, but my full government name is Noon Kim Lam, and I am a United States citizen. I was born here in West Valley City in 1993. I am going to stand up to the United States government and start in a rebellion. I am non-violent, pacifist. I know I have this tattoo that says deny, defend, oppose, but it was because I was really angry about the United States health service system and how we kill millions of Americans every year.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
We have, I think, heard more and more issues of animal welfare. I think not just because it's the right thing to do and the moral thing to do, but also it's, as all of you know, necessary to fight climate change. It is now existential that we try to reduce our meat consumption and that we try to respect animals in all aspects of society.
What? Why didn't you tell US allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war?
And we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay?
It's true.
Oh my gosh. JP.
I kind of thought that was coming, but I didn't know if he'd do it.
Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor?
Done did it.
That is hysterical. Y'all, the girl pretending to be a dog getting attacked by the dog.
Careful what you wish for.
And they had to blur out her. He was yanking her pants down.
Yeah. I don't think she'll identify as a pup anymore.
Well, make sure there aren't pups around if you're going to bark.
Also, don't wear sweatpants.
Yeah, dogs don't wear sweatpants.
Just put a belt on.
Yeah, like then it can't get you.
And Julie or Julia?
I can't remember.
My name is Bing Bang Wen.
I know I have this tattoo that says destroy everyone, but I was just upset because it couldn't get the health service.
I was just really mad at the U.S. federal government because they kill millions of people every year.
We've laughed enough today that I have a stomach ache.
What was the first one? Hold on. Kathy Hochul.
Yes.
Okay. First word that comes to your mind when you think of Kathy Hochul. Make it clean. First word you think of when it comes to Kathy Hochul.
Don't cuss.
I know you.
First word.
Allison. First word.
Scary.
Yeah. like something about her face. Like you would see like a doll. I don't know how to do it.
Madame Tussauds Wax Museum?
Yes,
Looks like
kind of
Annabelle.
like she will be in the corner staring at you. Yeah. What's your word?
I love this word, and I'm going to have to give another word with it. I love this word, vapid, aka vacant.
I like it.
AKA like I am out to lunch. I don't have all my marbles together. My picnic basket looks big, but if you pull out inside, it's empty. That's who she is.
That's really good.
I gave a lot of words. I'm sorry. I asked for one word.
Vapid.
Vapid.
Y'all know the doll Annabelle?
Yes. I actually
Hold on.
love
I'm
that
gonna
series.
Put up this is what this Kathy
me?
Hogcorn.
Oh, yes.
AKA
darker
Annabelle.
hair. Oh. Yeah.
She's Annabelle.
And she's just as crazy because, okay, let's follow the circular logic. Billionaires should pay the most taxes so we can run all of our government programs. But we're out of taxes and we can't support our government programs. So we need the billionaires to all come up from Palm Beach and give more to us. But you're bad, billionaires. You are the problem. But we can't function.
We're
It's
going
like-
to steal from you, and if you leave, we're going to try and wrangle you back so we can
Yeah.
keep stealing from you.
And that's about, I think, what she admitted.
Yeah.
The tax base has eroded.
Did you want to say I told you so?
Told you so.
Marxism doesn't, socialism doesn't, communism, it doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Funny. Well, I mean, it's only because it's never been done correctly, obviously.
Yeah, if only you would just get it right.
True.
Like, if the millionaires would just not leave, then it would be great.
And we promise not to murder you because of food rationing and healthcare rationing and housing rationing. No, we're not going to do any of those things this time. Just look at Mom Donnie. He's so trustworthy already.
It's
better.
It's like
New York is a dumpster fire.
Yes.
Get out. Except for Apple Country. That's beautiful. I bet they're sane there.
It's like they're looking at the millionaires and saying, we hate you. We're going to kill you. We're going to steal from you. And we don't want you here. And they're like, okay, well, now just leave. It's like, what? You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Come on. What's your problem?
Why don't you want to stay?
Yeah.
Come on.
And play with us.
We're so friendly.
Annabelle like you.
Oh, yeah. I want to go down and get you.
Her eyeball. It is. It's the eyes.
Yeah.
It is the eyes. It's
scary.
Oh, what do you think about Tallarico? That is the Democrat candidate for Texas Senate, by the way.
Okay.
Did he say what I think he said?
Animal welfare.
Animal welfare.
Kill the babies.
I did not hear animal. I heard another word.
In the
What
did you hear?
I'll tell you after the show's
Okay.
over.
Yeah. So kill the babies up to birth, but you better look out for animal welfare. In the arms of an angel.
For climate change, of
Why?
course.
For climate change, because that makes sense.
Eat your crickets.
We are
wait,
a
no, we can't do that. 'cause you
Blip
can't
in
kill
the
crickets.
universe, and that is what you're concerned with.
Okay, here's
Your
my
tofu.
question.
Not serious.
If the cow farts are contributing to climate change, wouldn't we need to eat more cows to get rid of them?
Well, I'm sorry, JP. You just applied
Oh,
logic.
Yeah, but then you just stop breeding them. You eat them till they're gone.
Oh, and then just
So
stop
you can enjoy
altogether.
your filet
Oh,
until
okay,
they're
so
gone.
it's- yeah.
Yeah. And then we just say that was fun. Okay. We need a tagline for going out of the show. What is it? Like something I say every time I take us out. Thank you for joining us at the right place at the right time on the right side.
We'll catch you on the other side.
See you around like a donut.
I love it.
Because you're cool like the flip side of the pillow.
That's good.
That's good.
Is that good?
We'll see you on the flip side where it's cool like the flip side of, I don't know. That's too long. That's too long.
Hey, how about we'll see you Monday on the
Yeah,
right
okay,
side?
that's good.
See you then.